Teenagers, what is the worst thing you are hiding in your room? Not a teenager anymore, but a girl I was friends with freshman year of college hid a live hen in her room for over a month. Classic 1123 AD kids. A few years ago I hid 14 beers in my room. I just found them a couple months ago. Apparently my hiding spot was so good I forgot about them. I had a PRN magazine stash. It was locked in my desk drawer. I left home, forgot about it, and then mum called to say she was going to bring my stuff over and couldn't find the key to my drawer. Oh snap. It was on my keychain, so I said, hey, don't worry about that, I'll go through it next time I visit. Couple of days later, hey, we found the spare key. I packed your stuff up and we'll be over to visit later. She'd carefully packed up all the PRN magazines in a box and didn't say anything about it. I asked her a few years later her reaction and she just laughed it off and said, boys will be boys. My mum's a true hero. A bag of sugar crystals I sit and chew when I'm nervous. My mom's birthday present. I'm setting up a pretend murder mystery for her. She's super into true crime stuff, and if she found any of it she would think I was a serial killer. Honestly, a dream journal. It's not really bad, but it's just kinda embarrassing. Letters to relatives in the case something happens to me. I'm a constant overthinker who worries about everything. So I wanted to be prepared in case someone murdered me or something. If someone found them now. Nice try. A book with all my short stories I write. Probably the present we had to buy for a random classmates in high school. It was all food that I bought. But that person wasn't at school that day, so I took it back home. We meant to give it to him later, but we forgotten about it. But yeah, that was 5 years ago. And it's still here. I'm pretty sure that everyone else has forgotten about it. You probably should start thinking about throwing out 5-year-old food. YouTube channel names when I was 7 years old. Chocolate. Because if mom finds out she wants a share and I maybe do not want to share. My girlfriend. One time when I was 14 I had my boyfriend over. My parents hated him. When my parents were out to dinner, I asked them too many times when they'd be home and they smelled a rat. They came home early and as soon as the garage door opened I pushed him into my closet. My parents found me in my room, blushing furiously with my top buttoned wrong. I had dogs. He was allergic. He sneezed. I was very grounded. For a long time. Febreze. I'm technically not supposed to have any. And God forbid my sister finds it. But what would I do with it? I deck who owns the Febreze. It's contraband because my sister likes to spray it in my eyes, so now nobody is allowed to have it. I've been considering moving it into the garage. What? I think you glossed over the fact that your sister likes to spray Febreze in your eyes. I want to assure you that this is not normal behavior and ask a question I'm sure everyone else is wondering about as well. An animal. What kind? My sketchbook. Kid. Keep at it. The market for illustrated PRN is stupid huge on the internet. Practice and build yourself a portfolio. You can make a good chunk of change taking custom commissions. The Duolingo bird. A huge stash of condoms. To give some context, my friends and I went to Pride for the first time last summer and there were several different stalls where people had buckets full of condoms and were handing them out for free. Because we're kinda immature we thought it was hilarious. So we just grabbed fistfuls and played about with them later. But we all had loads left over and kept them, I guess. I don't know what the other did with theirs. But I was too scared to throw mine away when I got home in case my parents found them in the bin or something and decided it was safer to just hide them in my room. Since they hardly ever come in my room. Never mind snoop around in my stuff. Just for your information, condoms expire, so if you're with a lady special friend a couple years down the track and grab one of them, make sure it's in date. It won't be a effective contraceptive protection. I draw. Furry art commissions. I'm the complete opposite of a furry. And I think GIF is disgusting. But furries pay HELLABREAD for some dragon penis drawings. I'm talking like $200 a pop. My pet stick. Not a teenager. But I was one like 10 years ago. I once hid a mold colony behind my dresser. It started with one can of pop my cat knocked down. And then was forgotten about. For 17 years. An empty bottle of wine because I'm too lazy to throw it out. Can't get in trouble for not having wine in your bedroom. Taps forehead. My mom goes through my stuff a lot, but the one drawer she leaves alone is my painting supplies. I hide my pipe and a few drinks in there. Throw in a couple of dryer sheets and you're good to go. I'm not a teenager anymore. But managed to stash condoms, lube, and an L douche and a DLDO in my room from the age of 16. A few close calls. But to be honest, my parents were always so chill that if they had found it all they'd have just laughed it off and not mentioned it. Edit. I'm big. Masculine gay guy. Folks. In the butt feels super good, and if you don't experience some decent penetration, not necessarily by another guy, girls are happy to ram toys home for you. Trust me, then you miss out on a huge slice of your SZOL capacity. Depends on what your idea of worst is. I mean, if I ever have kids, I'm hiding pot in their rooms. Whether they smoke or not. They'll be WTF. I have a bunch of chicken noodle soup cans under my bed. Alright. Andy Warhol. Myself. SX toys. I don't have much to hide since I share a room. What if my 9-year-old brother found the poop sock? Many tarot cards. In a very religious household and community. I just like the art on them. I don't believe in oracles. But I'd get called a Satanist and be ostracized by the church and school if anyone found them. Damn, just threw it out. Empty can of my dad's TTY beer that I stole a week ago when I was home alone. Emptied it in the sink after one sip. Prince of Garfield hentai. This wasn't a teenager, but an old dude that my buddy was cleaning out his room when he left. He found an old couch pillow and wondered why there was a hole in it. He stuck his fingers in there and found it weird there was a plastic bag of some kind in it. Until it dawned on him his fingers were suddenly wet. I'll let your imagination fill in the details of what that guy was using that pillow for. A box full of coins meant to be donated to a charity at school. I handed out the boxes one day and asked us to collect money in them and bring them back. I forgot to bring it back. The fact that I don't have anything to hide. A coconut. Dude, no. Not a teenager anymore, but for me it was an extra pillow. I was only allowed one in the group home I lived in, but I grew up with two and had a hard time sleeping with just one. I got my hands on an extra one day when I noticed that a bed had been made up for a new arrival and no staff were around. Stuffed that FK deep under my mattress when I wasn't using it. I have a can of surströmming. For the non-familiar, really fermented herring. It's probably about 3 years old and it's taped up like an IED in a sealed cardboard box. It was a joke gift from mates because it's nearly impossible to find where I live currently. Though. Even I really couldn't justify actually eating it. God forbid anyone find. Or worse yet. Open that cursed box. I hope if ever I'm burgled, they'll take it with them under the assumption that something hidden and sealed that well must be mighty valuable. The P copyright P sock. Be honest. It's your search history. A DLDO. I'm a straight dude, to make that clear. A friend put this massive DLDO on my windshield as an April Fool's prank last year. It was hilarious enough for me to want to do it someone else in future when they least expect it. My mates and I have a thing for stealing road signs in the dead of night when we have school the next morning. Like as in the signs for the streets we live on. They've all been distributed for safety now. But at one point my best friend had about 2 dozen stashed in his cupboard. With his dad's approval. At this current moment, officer, I have 6 street signs all taken from the various streets around my area. Those are only around 6 of 20 plus that I have acquired over the years. Edit. Good thing the police would only investigate my username. Edit 2. Thought I should mention that I only steal road signs, not traffic signs. I avoid anything that directs the flow of traffic other than to name a street. Whoa. How could you? That is despicable. I should have known. Though. I mean. The signs were all there. SX toys. Lube. Weed. BDSM gear. Little did you dying Slowlife know. His parents not only knew about his secret items. Not really that bad. But all the songs I've written down on paper. Which is just more embarrassing. A water bottle. My mother gets mad when I leave water in my room. No one must know. No one. For some reason. A piece of ham steak. Bunch of SX toys in a locked briefcase. It's pretty tame. But whenever I get grounded, I have my sister's old pink Kindle Fire taped under the TV stand when my phone get taken away. I got Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube on there. Gory drawings, erotic drawings, bad drawings, and a SX toy. I'm a goody two shoes. So I don't have much to hide. Though. Last year and the year prior I had a growler in my closet where I was brewing mead. But that was with parental permission. This year I don't feel like brewing anything. Though. Sounds like you do have some stuff to hide. A small bag of weed and LSD that's hidden in a hole behind a Woodstock poster. Shout out to my big cousin for the great birthday gift. Depression. PRN drawings and sketches. Including characters from games and some of me and my girlfriend. Who I didn't have sex with. Yet. PRN. Why'd you mention a dead body? Isn't that normal? Hormone pills IE. An anime full body pillow. As long as your taste in wafers isn't tea.